Moving on to long ball number 2, the MLS Cup round 1 game 1s kicked off this weekend. Miami kicked it all off on Friday night with a 2-1 win over Atlanta. Brad Guzan keeping it close. It ended up a 1-goal game and a little closer than many thought, probably.
Well, I mean, yes, Atlanta United had come off the fairly dramatic and exhausting trip up to Montreal just to get into the series against Inter Miami. I watched pretty much all of that game from Fort Lauderdale. Messi was quiet, notably quiet in that game. Obviously, a good team like Inter Miami gets goals from other places. It's not just going to be not just going to be Lionel Messi. The first goal from Suarez kind of sets you up to think that this was going to be a rout.
Yeah.
And I really did
90
see that
seconds
coming.
in, wasn't it? 90 seconds in?
Yeah, it was so early, that goal. But sometimes that happens. You get an early goal and you're like, oh, this is going to be a rout. And then the game really just kind of slows down from there. Seba got a goal in the 39th minute, which was very nice. Very nice setup from Atlanta United. They clearly, they had something. They just didn't have the ball in Inter Miami's half very often at all. I mean, I don't know what the possession numbers were. 66% for Inter Miami. That's a solid advantage, but it was more than more than just possession. It was how the field was tilted. And so you can't argue that Inter didn't deserve to win the game by a significant scoreline. They didn't, but it doesn't matter because it's best of 3. It doesn't matter what your goal number is, only that you win. And they got it done in 90 minutes. They didn't have to go to the penalty kick shootout and risk any of that. So it is, and Jordi Alba is not the guy you expect to score the winning goal, but hey, you get them from all over the place.
Yeah, Atlanta, hadn't watched a lot of them this year, but they were surprisingly solid. They were not sliced and diced by any means in this, and credit to them. I mean, it was 1-1 for a good portion in the middle third of the match, and really kept it tight, kept Messi from running riot.
There were some very good chances that Miami wasted. So you could say, yes, Atlanta was in it, and it took an Alba goal, a very pretty goal from Jordi Alba to win the game. But there were some very good. I think I want to say Diego Gomez maybe had a chance or two that went begging that he would want back. Obviously set up Suarez for the first one, so give him credit for that.
Yeah, he was impressive. A couple off the bar, and there was a play where the ball went up and over and dangled onto the top of the net where the physics of it didn't make sense that it wasn't in the goal. I had to keep on clicking the 10 seconds back. And I just, before we move on, I thought it was kind of funny, the half-hour buildup of this game. The pre-match presenters were all talking about how they have to just get through the first 15 minutes and weather the storm. And that was the whole game plan they had baked in. Brad Guzan, doubled down on that. And then they gave up a goal in the first 90 seconds.
Yes, right.
It was like, oh, we'll scratch that up. Saturday night, not as close of a match. Ricky Puig and the Galaxy blast the Rapids 5-0.
Yeah, this game is interesting because it would seem to indicate this is going to be super simple for LA Galaxy. 2 wins, lock up the series, move on, get to the conference semifinals. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think obviously, look, you take into account the altitude and the advantage that Colorado has back at home. I don't know about the injury status of Georgi Mihailovic. That's a major, major absence for Colorado in this game. Without him, they had effectively no attack. 0.03 expected goals on the evening for the Colorado Rapids. Robert, I don't even know how you get to a number that low, but that's the number that they had. Yes, Joveljic twice. Nelson with a great goal. I mean, that sounded, John Nelson pops up with a goal. I think that was fullback to fullback on that sequence that led to Nelson's goal. Ricky Puig twice to seal it. When he is flying towards you as a defender, I imagine that's pretty scary with the options that he has. Galaxy look good. They're going to advance. I'm just wondering if they maybe lose one in Colorado before going back to Los Angeles to close it out.
I don't know if this broadcast was the same as Friday nights in Miami, but just they kept on reminding the international audience, these are only the first games. They're going to play more games. There's no aggregate score. We understand that this kind of doesn't make sense, but just, this is the first game.
It doesn't make sense. What else did we have happen in this round that doesn't make sense?
Sunday night, there was 2 games. It kicked off with Orlando getting a 2-0 win over Charlotte. And an LAFC with a tighter one, 2-1 versus Vancouver.
Yeah, good win for Orlando City. Torres and Ojeda with the goals for Orlando City. Watched a little bit of that game. Certainly thought Orlando was the better team. Charlotte had a couple of moments. I think if Swiderski had been a little cleaner, they might have been able to get something. Pep Biel got sent off. Had a chance he missed, but then got sent off late in that game. So he'll be missing for game 2 back in Charlotte, which is a blow for Charlotte FC.